here at 4 o'clock. We're continuing our coverage now on the Virginia Supreme Court considering that decision to block the redistricting efforts in the Commonwealth.
And joining us now to help sort through this complicated issue is Dr. Casey Myers, who is a public relations professor at Virginia Tech. Professor, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, it boils down to a legal argument about procedure and timing. How do you think the court will interpret the state's constitution on this matter?
So that is a really good question, because the real conversation that went around the oral argument today centered around what is an election and when does an election begin? Does early voting count as an election, or is it just election day? And there were some tough questions, I think, for both sides. So it's hard to determine how this is going to play out, but I think that is the process itself is really being focused on, and the technical definitions of elections and special session.
So if a map is struck down on procedural grounds after voters approved it, does that impact public trust in the democratic process at all?
Well, it would be something that would be quite unusual, and I think that there's a lot of the questions around, whether or not striking this down, what kind of political implications there are going to be. Ultimately, the map as it stands certainly changes, I think, national politics for the House of Representatives midterm elections. Striking it down would also have the same kind of implications. So, again, very high stakes here, not just in Virginia, but nationally as well.
Right, and given how close this is to a federal election cycle, how much of a factor will that be for the court? And also, I just wanted to follow up on something you said about the question of when an election technically starts. Is that a gap in the Constitution that you think needs to be closed so there's a clear understanding of that?
Well, certainly, I think that this was the main kind of issue today in oral argument, where they were talking about what are the definitions of election. And, early voting has kind of changed the nature of elections altogether in the United States. And this has been a question that has come up in other legal cases as well, just outside of Virginia. But again, one of the things that I think that we'll see in this is a real kind of conversation and a decision that centers around, was this process followed to the letter, and were all the boxes checked? And again, there's a constitutional outline for that the House has to follow, that the legislature has to follow in Virginia. And so this is really, I think, a pivotal moment. And
the fact that it's so close to an election, is that a factor for their decision?
I don't know that that's a factor for the decision itself, because the court's going to be looking at, the constitutionality of the process. But certainly it is an important factor here, just given the fact that this is a high stakes impact just nationally beyond Virginia. And also, I think something that is we've been watching closely in other states. And again, this is part of a larger mid-year or redistricting effort that has taken place all over the country in various states, and may continue after this decision as well.
All right, Dr. Casey Myers, Professor of Public Relations, Director of Graduate Studies at the School of Communication at Virginia Tech. We appreciate your perspective and for joining us here on 7 News.
Thank you.